Welcome to week 6. So this week or this past week, I hope you all really enjoyed this exercise. So what our goal is to start to understand words that describe our content at a higher level or organize it in some method that might not, probably is not, or could be already in your table. So that's across the board. We have a lot of different subjects that we're covering, but I'm hoping that at this point you start to see the way we can learn from each other, and we can use the concepts from one group in order to frame the questions that we need to answer for our own particular problem. And so the three exercises this week were to, for one, understand what those words are in a computer sense. We're talking about the idea of keywords, and that is about uniqueness. And so therefore, uniqueness or specificity is really important to keywords, not necessarily so much when it comes to us actually organizing our content for other humans. We might want to have more conventional ways of doing it, but we want to keep our eye on the fact that if we're just organizing data in the same way everyone else is, we, at least in computer terms, have no real advantage of being found. So being unique, especially in the world of online information, is a very good thing. And secondly, you might have found, I can see here, the idea of how do you organize things like beer and whiskey or something like that. Those are very interesting subjects in themselves. So your topic should have some existing art. I mean, things have been organized for tens of thousands of years. Well, maybe not tens of thousands, but in any case, we've been organizing things as a species for quite a long time. And if you didn't know how to refer to things, some things would just be hard to find. So I appreciated that, yes, almost everything that has an object that you're talking about, an object, can be organized and usually has something that people have already worked really hard to try to create. And some, I looked in here a little bit, some of these are pretty new and people are literally creating them now. So just creating ways of organizing things and terms and nomenclature and so forth, you might want to think about this. This is a pretty interesting subject, and something that is very, very valuable to many companies. And then finally, we're looking at a way we can start to think about something like navigation, which is where we're going this week. Like, how do you have 5 to 7 terms? This is traditional website navigation where you only have so much room and you have to figure out how to group things in some ways that can spread your content out in a way that is explorable. And that's going to manifest itself this week in what we're calling a sitemap. And I'll explain just slightly that sitemaps maybe in this day and age might be a bit underused, but they're helpful. Let's call them just maps, because really, because we're not often in a page-based, and I mean page-based like there's a literal page for every piece of content. We have lots of dynamic content now, and that's what this class is about, content that can change. So let's think of it as ways that we want people to organize our content using those words and concepts that we came up with last week. So our first deliverable along our route now, which is to end up visualizing our content. First route is just how will we organize at this high level? What are the terms that you discovered from last week or need to still work on to build a sort of a structure here? I built one out just using Mural, but you can use any tool you want. I think there's quite a few. You're also welcome to use Figma to build this out. Now, that doesn't mean you can go right into it. Please take a look at some of the, certainly read up on this week's goals, because we will also probably be thinking a lot about viewports and ways people navigate content. So we're going to learn a little bit about content or navigation strategy, and then we're going to apply it. And as usual, we will look at each other's work. I will offer comments. We'll try to hone down what are the important things to convey in this kind of a document or this kind of a deliverable. How does it help somebody understand what your major goals are before we get into the world of actually visualizing that? So that's this week. As usual, great work, and we'll look forward to your contributions.